Oh. What's up, chat? If you notice, I'm going fast right now. We're fucking kicking the tires right now. When I have these long shots of characters, I can never figure out how much face I want to draw. I kind of want to just have it like a blank face area, but then I also feel desire to put in like a bare minimum of features like this. I need to observe people from afar and see how my brain processes information in terms of, like, when you look at someone's face from like 30 meters away, just like what the lack of inability to see details, how your brain sees that. What's up? My mother is off protesting Trump or something. I don't know. I'm not really paying attention. I have more important things to do in my life. I'm back with my Vagrant Story playthrough. I have never played Vagrant Story. The two Square Enix, or not Square Enix, Square games from the time that I missed out on and didn't play in real time were Final Fantasy Tactics and Vagrant Story. So I need to sort of play those. Back when Square was king and they couldn't do anything wrong. I have played Tactics Ogre on my PlayStation Portable. I have a tendency to draw Xana with her neck being too long. She's supposed to have a slightly longer than normal neck. But, I often sort of go overboard. And she starts to look like a Tokyo Revengers character. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, if I Google Tokyo Revengers neck, you get these images right like this. This is the joke version, but this is the actual version right here. It gets longer and longer. Legendary neck length right here. I like how it's not just the image from this angle, it's the image on the left as well. Okay, this is probably a fake edit, but this one is not. In general, the way I think of neck proportions is it's about like half the length of your head. So You draw a sexy Squidward like this. So, here we have the neck length, like about that. Here's the Tokyo Revenger's neck right here. But realistically, it should be like from chin to here. Yeah, that's a little too long. So let's not make it that long. Let's adjust it. So let's keep it around here. See, now that looks more appropriate. And I consider the neck ending at the clavicle is how I think of it. That's also where the shoulders start, of course. Speaking of gang-themed anime, have you seen Windbreakers? I think the new age of delinquent manga is fucking incredibly cringe. Thanks for the raid, Flat Joseph, raiding with a party of 1, LMAO. We've had raids before. See, back in my day, being a delinquent was all about being like this, right? You have your fucking hair, and you're all like, huh? You're all like, ah! Nanda kora, nani tsunda tebe? This is a proper delinquent back in the day. But look what we have now. Current delinquent is like this. I think Windbreakers is some of the cringiest shit on the fucking planet, but obviously it's for middle school kids, so... For those of you who don't know, Windbreakers is a new age delinquent anime, or manga, I guess both, in which instead of just being delinquent kids who have a bone to pick with society, they want to be like all law and order shit and be like, I'm protecting the town. The only way to protect this this town is for us delinquents to use our friendship and nakama. And everyone's like, oh, thank you, Mr. Delinquents. What would we do without you to be here? Just a bunch of pretty boys? Yes. Of course, back in the day, the delinquents back in the day also thought they were pretty boys as well. They didn't think they were pretty boys, but they thought they looked awesome, so... The equivalent in 2025 is, you know, 13-year-olds who think having a bunch of piercings and shit is awesome as well, so... It's not particularly that weird. Oh... Oh... I should replay Ace Combat 7. I mean, Ace Combat 7 only came out... Ace Combat 7... Release date... It only came out in 2019! It's only been 6 fucking years, holy shit. Oh, my fucking life. Are the Ace Combat games on PC? I think most of them are. I mean, you can always emulate, like, half of them. Although emulating is illegal, so you shouldn't do that. And I'm sure nobody in this stream would ever consider doing anything illegal. But yeah, I mean, there's PS2 emulators, of course. You are too old? No, I'm not. I'm extremely young. You wouldn't understand. You'll be old too, unless you die before you get old. You should see how my fucking boomer parents, or at least my mother, talks about people younger than her. She'll be like, oh, that person's only 60. They're so young. And I'm like, Mom, that's not young. You just classify everybody slightly younger than you as young because you don't think you're old. But you're all fucking old. Fucking octogenarians everywhere. Jesus Christ. Oh. Ball thinks the feds are watching his streams. If there's one day in which the feds aren't watching my streams, it's today, I would say. I think they have, they might be a little busy. It's the perfect opportunity for us to make pragmatic, cute, and funny jokes. Haha, just kidding, Mr. FBI. I would never do that. Pragmata is a wholesome game about a old guy and his android daughter. Honestly, when I did see the new Pragmata trailer, it gave me intense feelings of wanting to grab that little blonde-haired android and hold her up in the air and be like, look how high you are! You're on an airplane! And then spin her around and stuff. I believe this is my paternal instinct kicking in. Stupid fucking brat needs a head pat correction. What's up? Alright, that's enough Ace Combat. We can't keep this level of excitement going for the entire stream, so let's listen to something slightly more chill. I can't tell if this is an actual original. Yeah, it is original artwork. Jesus Christ. Now that's some real Giga neck right there, that action. His total neck length is about the same length as his fucking skull. Really impressive neck action right there. I'm glad you survived the Iranian attack. I think pretty much everybody survived the Iranian attack. I think like 5 people died in Israel from Iranian rockets or something at most. Was it even less? It's important to remember that like the entirety of the state of Israel is basically composed of bunkers and shit at this point, so they also have expensive US-based Iron Dome systems to protect everybody. Clamp mangas had some really lanky characters. True. Five cummies in my tummy. The next time you post anything in the form of cummies, I'm fucking timing you out, Constrictor. Rent-A-Girlfriend is so ass. When did you realize that Rent-A-Girlfriend was ass, guys? How long did it take you? Because it seems like everybody has reached that conclusion eventually. The question is, at what point did they reach that conclusion? At chapter 0? I don't know. I actually thought that the start of it was kind of based in Red Pilled. If you think about it. It's a romantic comedy literally about prostitution, except they're not calling it prostitution. Guys, we're just renting girlfriends. It's just a rental girlfriend, not a whore. Nothing sketchy about renting a girlfriend. She just wants to be an actress, like every whore. I liked how people only started hating on Chizuru now and not from the beginning LMAO. I can't remember if Chizuru was the main girl, but the moment I saw the main girl of Rental Girlfriend, I was just like, this seems like the most basic bitch main character female constructed in a lab to have no real personality. People who like Chizuru are probably people like Biden who say their favorite flavor of ice cream is vanilla or something. I'm sorry, I love being a whore more than you. Actually, let's ask Grok. Please summarize the story of Rental Girlfriend going up to the latest chapters. As Kazuya develops genuine feelings for Chizuru, the story explores the evolving dynamic complicated by the professional boundaries of the rental girlfriend service, Kazuya's insecurities, and interference from other characters. The manga is known for its slow pacing, thank you Grok, with Kazuya and Chizuru's relationship progressing haltingly over hundreds of chapters, frustrating many fans. By chapter 235, after the Hawaii arc, Chizuru ghosts Kazuya for months, reflecting on whether her feelings are romantic. They later cohabitate, intensifying the emotional tension. In chapter 379, notice that's 140 chapters since chapter 235, a pivotal moment occurs when Chizuru confesses her love to Kazuya, a milestone after 8 years and nearly 400 chapters. Jesus fucking Christ. And people are wondering, like, why people shit on it. Actually, nobody's wondering why people shit on it. Everybody knows why people shit on it. However, chapter 380 delivers a controversial twist. Kazuya confesses his feelings, but Chizuru rejects him, citing her complex lifestyle and acting goals as barriers to a relationship. Though she acknowledges her attraction and lack of regret over their time together, the chapter ends on a cliffhanger with Chizuru injuring her foot, hinting at further developments. Fans have criticized the series for invalidating years of build-up and reverting to its pattern of teasing progress only to stall. Some defend the twist, arguing Chizuru's hesitation aligns with her character's emotional complexity, LMAO, and the story's theme of navigating real versus rented relationships, LMAO. As of the latest chapters, the manga remains ongoing with no confirmed end date, leaving Kazuya and Chizuru's future uncertain and fans divided over whether the series can recover its momentum. I have an answer for that. No, it cannot. Lack of regret after he spends tens of thousands of dollars on her and kickstarting her acting career, LMAO. Guys, you should only go the pretty girl route if you're literally Richard Gere, and I don't remember what Richard Gere was in Pretty Woman, but he was like a multi-millionaire, I assume. You should not try and date a professional whore who doesn't actually give sex to you, because she's not actually a whore. It's even worse. She's a woman who pretends to like you. Imagine being a romance fan, LMAO. I don't know, there's some good romance out there that resolves at least slightly quicker than Rental Girlfriend, at least. Is the masterpiece of the romance genre Mezzo Ikoku, guys? I think that's the answer here. Entire romance of fucking used goods, hag, older female. The author really loves her too much to allow Kazuya to be with her. I thought it was a meme. Painful, isn't it? No, not my Mary Sue. Fuck this. I hate this Zelda lo-fi beat. This sucks. I know. I don't know. What is the greatest love story ever told? Most of them kind of suck, if you think about it. I'm someone who survived the time period in which every girl was like, oh my god, Titanic! It's so beautiful. He dies. That's so dramatic and beautiful. The Fisherman's Wife. Complex plot between the Fisherman's Wife and the octopus and her husband. I cry every time. It's not a romance novel for a woman without a bit of infidelity. You can go the women's romance novels, or not novels, but just media in general, have to have one of the following bingo checklist. Infidelity, rape, let's see, what else? Men fighting over her. Also claiming that they don't need a man or they don't want a man. And being like, huh, silly boys, I don't have time for you. I'm a professional, a skilled lawyer. alchemist, etc. This is the big trend of a lot of isekai for females, is women claiming that they're skilled professionals and they don't want a man, despite their entire worldview also being based on controlling men. Chokyu Kareshi Kanojo. I assume that it resolved itself very quickly. Bonus points for the I don't want men female lead. It's almost universal now. So the default female media right now is professionally competent female lead who is considered by others to be quote-unquote average looking and not be hot, because that would be unfair to the self-inserting female readers. But then she only needs to put on a little bit of makeup and take off her glasses, and then everyone is like, oh my god, she's so hot actually. And then she's like, oh, I'm not interested in men because I want to be a librarian slash an alchemist slash a etc etc etc. But despite her lack of interest in these silly guys, the local prince is super into her. And he's like, please, I love you so much. And she's like, oh my god, I'm so busy. Stop being in love with me. Oh, what a drag. This is the starter pack for female media right now. And then depending on how risque it wants to be, she'll be all like, oh, I don't care about the guy, and he's eventually going to be like, hey, you better be careful, girl. If you tease me too much, I'm going to rape you. Doki doki. But that's more classic shoujo. Back in the day, shoujo was all about rape, but it's, well, not truly back in the day. Right now, there was like a brief period in the 2000s where it was all about rape, but right now it's all about denying men. Local prince? Yeah, there's always a local prince. Readily available local prince. I mean, think about this. Even Frozen was about not needing a man. He has eyes only for her and didn't like any other woman before. I was actually thinking about this the other day. Why do male media... There's some male media in which the guy is like, I don't care about girls or whatever. But in most cases, they straight up state that, yes, they would like a harem and they would like to have sex and stuff. Whereas the current trend of female media is always about how they don't need no man. I was thinking why this is, and I came to the conclusion is that the way in which women exert female power in society is by being on the choosing end of men. So the rejection of the male as something that they don't need, even though everything about the rest of the story obviously shows that they do want a man. But being the chooser and picker and getting to reject men is how they flex their power. So the less interested they are in men, the more powerful they are. Woman who is professionally satisfied and doesn't want these silly boys bothering her job is the equivalent of the male protag being transported to the isekai and being able to shoot laser beams out of his eyes. The rejection feels powerful and reinforces their attractiveness, rejecting even the prince is like the ultimate ego boost. Yes, this is why literally every single female isekai starts with them being, I'm a villainess, and the prince is rejecting me and annulling our upcoming marriage, but I never wanted him in the first place. It's pretty easy to understand if once you actually figure out the pattern. Reminds me of the villainous trope. It is the villainous trope. Name a villainess who's like, oh my god, I can't believe I got dumped. This is horrible. They're always like, this is fine. I never liked him anyways. I'm too good for the prince. He doesn't deserve me. Since guys aren't choosers, them rejecting women usually involves them being well celebrated and a loser. Can you name any male MC centered stories in which like girls he actually gets to reject girls instead of having to reject girls? Like the only time in which a guy will reject a girl is if it's trying to be a straight up romance story in which polygamy isn't a thing. But once you get to the most concentrated version of male wish fulfillment, which is usually what the isekai fantasy is, you get to the situation where he just has a harem. Men don't want to reject any woman, especially if they're all attractive like they are in anime. Men want to collect women like they're Star Wars action figures, whereas women are way more willing to reject men, or more like, I haven't seen a female-oriented media story in which the woman wants to have a male harem. Women don't actually want a bunch of guys surrounding them. They don't want to have to take care of 10 husbands, you know? They get way more excitement from getting to reject men than accepting more men. It makes sense biologically, because if you're a woman, you can't be pregnant with more than one man's child at a time, so just biologically you're basically probably more inclined to choose one. Reminder that the villainous trope to begin with is a parody of the original Otome game setup. In which you're a pink-haired girl in which all the guys are fighting over you. But now even the concept of caring about men caring about you is too much for the modern isekai reader, so now they have to pretend like they don't care about men at all. Women don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of men. Every woman I know would disagree. I'm saying this entirely based on Japanese anime and media. I'm not talking about average white woman who goes to an all-male strip club for her bachelorette party, or who inserts herself into like the local trading card club so she can be pandered to by a bunch of loser nerds or whatever. But like, I can't think of many media in which it's like the goal or the conclusion is having multiple husbands, you know? Theoretically, it's fantasy, so there's nothing... If they actually wanted to have multiple husbands as, like, the ultimate female, there's nothing to stop them of having that fantasy, but they never seem to go that direction. They want to have men fighting over them, but they don't necessarily want to be married to multiple men, you know? rare reverse harem endings. They usually just have to fight for them. The classic female shoujo trope was no, guys, don't fight over me. I can't choose who I love more. Please don't, kill each other over who wants me more. That's like the true, the female power fantasy is driving men to violence over their own attractiveness. Also, I don't think I've seen much female-directed isekai where the femc protag solves anything through her magic or her some form of violence. You have it a little more in Western stories like, I don't know, Hunger Games, although that might not be directed at women. I'm not sure. I haven't read a Hunger Games book. But even in the realm of fantasy, women don't really seem to think of like solving problems by just murdering everybody. BGM name. This is like a playlist. I can't figure out how to do the I don't know where I cut the address. Back to Tetris. Yeah, I don't think he was asking this is Animal Crossing. Where were we? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Is Tetris the best game of all time? You have been working on this page for too long. What will the editors and publishers think? I am getting faster. Whenever you think that it's taking too long for me to draw something, remember that look at the back of your manga volume and see how many assistants they have. They have like 6 assistants, dude. Everybody has a lot of help. Don't pretend that everybody's drawing it alone. Some people draw it alone, but those people are super talented. Only the true freaks of nature like Toriyama can just like do everything by themselves. Even Toriyama had one assistant whose primary job was coloring the blacks in. That was it. That was all he did. You just don't understand the process. These streams are important brainstorming sessions. No, they're not. I just do that because it's a habit. It doesn't provide me with much money. And it doesn't make... I don't make a ton of progress on my drawings as well. If Twitch bans me tomorrow, I'll be just fine. I don't really care. He hates us. I don't even recognize you. You guys are just like a empty voice in the back of my head. I don't see you as individual people. You're not real to me. You're just the ghost of the internet. Some would argue Toriyama should have had assistants. Toriyama could draw like 18 pages in a day and a half. He was fine. Assistants don't actually help you with thinking of what to draw next and stuff like that in terms of like plot formation and shit. Drawing speed was never a problem for Toriyama. He was that good. But again, that's why I list him as an outlier, in which he's like the exception that proves the rule. Most people have a shit ton of assistants. Don't lie, Ball. We know you would cry. I can't remember when the last time it was that I cried. I think I was trying to force myself to cry while watching the NBA Finals by superimposing scenes from Slam Dunk onto the NBA Finals, but didn't work because we're not at Game 7 yet. You gained 10 viewers after that, LMAO, when I started crying. Should I do a 24-hour stream, guys? That would be so hype, wouldn't it? No, don't worry, I won't actually do it. How about a shitting stream? Where I'm just like, my hemorrhoids, Just kidding, my hemorrhoids aren't painful, I'm fine. I once joined a Japanese not safe for work art stream. Those fuckers stream for like 12 hours. Average Japanese work hours. Most Japanese streamers are boring as fuck. Because, generally speaking, Japanese internet culture is too polite for it to be interesting. The interesting Japanese streamers aren't on Twitch. They're on stuff like Nico Nico Doga, where there's just like serious alcoholics killing themselves by drinking too much beer. There was a Nico Nico Doga streamer who he was a raging alcoholic, and his own viewers would keep on sending him like 16 packs of 500 milliliter beers. He would drink like, I don't know, 2 or 3 packs of full-size, tall boy-size beers every day. You know, like serious alcoholism. And now he's about to die in the hospital, and the internet has been waiting to see if he's gonna die soon. But the power of Japanese taxpayer-based medicine is still keeping him alive, and everyone's like, when is he gonna die? I was just like, Jesus Christ, his own viewership straight up just killed him. Legal murder? Yeah. Don't drink all that beer, dude. Bathroom stream would be Kino as long as you don't show face. I don't care enough about being a streamer to actually get a camera and show my fucking bathroom, of course, so that's never gonna happen. Is that a fill-in tool in a ball stream? I finally figured out the settings, which will allow me to use the fill tool efficiently. Up until this point, it wasn't worth it, but I finally figured out what I was doing wrong. You're making her look like she has a large chest. Xana is wearing a corset, which is pushing up her boobs, which makes her boobs look larger than they actually are, so this is the correct size. She doesn't actually have big boobs. She has like a C cup, but the corset is padding it to make it look like she has a D cup. The childhood best friend. Childhood best friend does have big boobs. Aubrey is like a double D. She has pretty significant boobs. She's shorter and she has a more aggressive tits. Girls are hottest when they have short hair and boyish features, but also have big fat boobs. We know this to be true. Childhood friends are either super stacked or so pathetically flat in order to push them even further from being a romance option. I think in most cases they have boobs. What video game should I play, guys? I needed something to play to keep my mind off drawing 24/7, so I restarted Bloodborne, and I was making good progress, and I was like, hey, this is still pretty fun. Maybe I'll finish it. And then I got to the three dudes. Anyone who knows, who's played Bloodborne knows what I'm talking about. After you go through the entire section full of snakes, and then you have to get to the boss that are the three dudes, and I got killed by them, and I was like, this shit is fucking bullshit. I don't give a fuck anymore. Why am I trying hard to beat these? I already beat the entire game. I don't need to do this again. This game isn't good enough for me to waste my time on this shit. Yeah, the Gank Squad. The Gang Squad that speedrunners have figured out how to make them not move at all, so whenever you see a Bloodborne speedrun, they're just standing there getting their asses kicked. You could just come chalice it. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't really touch the chalice dungeons. I touched a few during my first playthrough, but I just don't like playing the chalice dungeons. They don't have enough, you know, variety. The entire good thing about From Software game design is that they have really good map design, so when you just have like repeating map segments, it's sort of, it defeats the purpose of playing From Software Souls-like in the first place. That's what you get for playing a Dark Souls game. They are bad. That's not true. They're pretty good. They're not necessarily worth a second playthrough for me. It's especially painful because I went from going from playing the Neo 3 demo to Dark Souls or to Bloodborne. And Bloodborne is one of the more, you know, meaty, high-speed, action-oriented Souls games. But going from the most recent iteration of Team Ninja action game version of Souls Slop to the actual, you know, archaic Souls Slop is it's a pretty painful experience. You see how much progress has been made. I like the Neo gauntlets. When I'm playing Neo, I generally use a combination of one cat, spear. I used a bunch of Tonfas. I did a second playthrough of Neo 2 and used the Tonfas. What else do I use? I do use the chain and sickle. See, but that's the thing. There's a serious flaw in the game design of Soulsborne games, and that is that a lot of the way they gatekeep you from becoming too powerful by leveling up is by gatekeeping your weapon upgrades. But what that does is that once you start to get locked into a weapon, when you've invested a bunch of time into upgrading a specific weapon, you basically have to use that one weapon till the end of the game after a certain point. After like about the halfway point of the game, you're kind of locked into it. They alleviated this issue a little bit with Elden Ring by making it super easy for you to buy you know, stones, upgrade stones. But it's still, you still have to go through a lot of work to upgrade other weapons. Whereas with the Team Ninja loot drop system, not only can you use a lot of different weapons if you want to, you're sort of required to, because the highest damage output weapon is usually going to be the most recent random drop that you can find. So you're forced to actually use and learn like at least 3 or 4 different weapons. So it's kind of the opposite of Souls games. And it makes the entire play experience way more interesting. You're autistic, right? Maybe a Paradox game would be up your alley. I've lost a lot of hours to Stellaris. Look, I'm not going to play a game that gives me like 1,000 hours of content because I'm trying to draw here. I'm not autistic, like actual autistic. My tendencies are kind of weak. I have never memorized dinosaur names or train car names and shit like that, so... You could stick some more hours into Balatro. I did. I think I did enough Balatro, honestly. Now it's just getting into the zone of math. I don't want to do any more math. I don't like counting numbers and shit. Also, Balatro doesn't... there's not enough flashiness to Balatro. Even when you have, like, a giga point system. Like, the presentation doesn't suck my dick enough. If I get a Royal Straight Flush that scores 100,000 points or whatever, I want there to be, like, fucking explosions on the screen. I think I used to know every German name of Pokemon until the 6th generation. Okay, Pokemon doesn't really count. Everybody knows the names of fucking Pokemon. You can hardly be counted as autistic from our generation of kids just by knowing Pokemon. It was basically like mandatory fucking knowledge, so... You're not Factorio autistic? I cannot play Factorio. I've seen people play it, and the perspective of the screen just bugs me so much that, like, it's not even isometric perspective. It's both top-down and isometric. It just bugs the shit out of me. I can't get over it. It's neither, like, completely top-down or diagonal. And it's certainly not a three-dimensional plane either. It fucking messes me up. I can't do that shit. So yeah, I'm not playing Factorio either. I despise Pokemon. If you like Pokemon, you are beneath me. Are you saying that it's wrong for me to want to have sex with, Lol Punny? Is that the right Pokemon? Gardevoir. It was made by a programmer for programmers. Yeah, my lack of true autism is showing. I don't like STEM related shit, so the more STEM science-y it gets, the more math required, the less interested I end up being in it. Is Gardevoir considered furry? I would call it a furry. I mean, if Gardevoir isn't a furry, then I mean, maybe, I don't know. I think all Pokemon are firmly within the furry genre. What I really don't understand is people who differentiate between Kemono and furry. Someone explain to me what the difference between Kemono and furry is. Let's ask Grok. Explain the difference between Kemono and furry. The terms Kemono and furry refer to distinct but overlapping concepts within anthropomorphic character subcultures, particularly in art, fandom, and character design. Kemono is a Japanese term used to describe anthropomorphic animal characters or the subculture surrounding them. It often refers to a specific style of character design and fandom prevalent in East Asia, particularly Japanese pop culture. Kemono characteristics typically have an anime or manga-inspired aesthetic. Kemono meaning distinction, cultural context. Kemono is rooted in Japanese furry culture and is often associated with fursuits, doujinshi, and conventions in Japan. It's sometimes used interchangeably with furry in Japan, but emphasizes a distinct aesthetic. So this is basically like the meme of furry and then disgusted face, furry Japan, soy pog champ. That's basically what it is. I feel like Kemono, you're way more likely to get like Shota content, whereas furry is like you're way more likely to get Bara gay man content. That's just my impression though, because there's definitely Bara Kemono shit, plenty of that. I mean, you would never say the term furry in Japanese. It has to be something like kemona. I just think that Japanese furries or kemona haven't stigmatized themselves to the West like the way that furries have in the West, because they don't do as much cringe shit. So they're not despised by society in the same way that American furries are. Instead, the truly despised Japanese nerd culture people are all like trained nerds. Japanese trained nerds are like some of the most hated people in that country. Everybody is hoping that they'll just get run over by trains and die. Because you have to understand it, like, train autism is a thing in every culture, but Japan is a super crowded nation in which trains are an extremely important way for normal people to get to work. So when you have a bunch of trained nerds with their giga autism taking up space on the platform, everyone is just like, holy shit, I hope these people get fucking run over, get out of my way. How about Argonian and Khajiit? Everything in the Elder Scrolls is incredibly ugly, so only the most desperate of Coomers would ever think of masturbating to that content, so it's kind of irrelevant. What have trained nerds done, LOL? Is it time for me to show that video? Japanese waving train guy.
Have you seen this video? It went super viral online in Japan, but didn't ever really reach the English-speaking internet. It all started with a 45-second video uploaded to Twitter on August 5th, 2021. To get straight into it, I'll just play you guys the video, which I've made some rough subtitles for.
Notice all the trained nerds and how they like scream but also look extremely awkward. There's like 50 of them. It's important to know that nobody in Japanese society talks like this unless they're Yakuza. But trained nerds try and speak like that because they want to appear tough.
Main hobby is trains. These people are called Tetsudo Otaku, or Train Otaku. In 2019, Japanese online air travel agency Airtrip published a completely unbiased study of which types of otaku people identified as. Oh, sorry. Oh, you can't read it? Oh, don't worry, I translated it for you. It was separated into men and women. And
at this point, I think this is inaccurate. I think trains are number one.
For men, somehow, airplanes came in at number one. But anyways, we're looking at number 2, trains, which 13.3% of men identify with. Of this 13.3%,
look at this shit.
Some of them find enjoyment in taking pictures of trains. These people are called toritetsu.
Toritetsu.
They often wait on train platforms or near train tracks with a camera and take pictures. They don't have the best reputation currently, and I'll translate and read.
They are the most despised human beings in Japan.
To explain why. In recent years, the public perception of so-called toritetsu has fallen due to events such as the following being picked up by the news. Violence perpetrated at shooting locations. This video is apparently a middle school kid.
They're actually fucking hilarious because they're all these pathetic,
interfering with their shot.
Pathetic,
trespassing on private property.
Extremely thin,
pay for private photo shoots,
skinny fat.
Allowed to shoot solely based on the kindness of the rail companies. Toritetsu fight for the best shooting position as if it's their natural right.
And then they all behave like they're tough guys, and they run around in groups and like yell at people and be like, "Get out of the way! I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't get out of the way so I can take my correct photo."
Who's the random white guy? Well, his name is Dylan, and he runs a Mexican restaurant named Home Taco Bar in the local Enoshima area.
And then the bike guy became a local hero.
Naturally, it had never been translated to English yet, but yeah, I subtitled this one too.
Now this is making me want tacos.
Normally, when an altercation between Japanese people and foreigners blows up online, it's not uncommon to find some patriotic Japanese people coming to the defense of the Japanese party no matter what. This didn't happen here. Originally, there were a small amount of train guys who tried to review bomb his restaurant once they found it, but it was quickly fixed by an outcry of people coming in with positive reviews.
Keck W,
Online,
5 stars
it's
now.
almost impossible to find anyone who defends the train guys. No matter what video you look at or what Twitter thread you read, everybody loves Dylan. He's become a bit of a local celebrity with tons of people visiting his bar to take pictures with him.
It is a nice train, though.
Or making memes of him. Or people replicating his famous shot.
Oh god. Now if any train person wants to take a photo of this, there's going to be someone running around in the background waving. The face when you have no nakama. So that's actually more relevant than you understand, because the actual Toritetsu train photo shooters, they don't actually have any nakama because they're all fighting each other to get the correct photo. You see, the way that Toritetsu works is they can't just take a photo of the train. For some reason, they have to autistically fight. Well, that's the reason why they're autistic, right? But they have to fight over taking the photo of a train from a hyper-specific angle. And they have like a massive checklist of the correct angle, like what parts of the train are properly being shown and shit like that. And they autistically follow like getting this train from a super specific angle, I don't know, with time of day and like showing certain parts of the train and stuff. So they can only take the photo from one location, and they all like fight over that location. So they don't actually have any nakama or friends or whatever. They like fucking hate each other, and they're constantly fighting among themselves. And then the rest of society fucking hates them as well because they're getting in the way of people. They're basically the low of the low of Japanese society, and if they all fall into the train tracks and got run over by the trolley problem tomorrow, nobody would give a fuck. In fact, everybody would just, fucking clap and applaud. Is this more like the artistic autist versus STEM autist? No, it's a very specific subsection of autism in Japan. See, there's a lot of autistic hobbies in Japan, but most of them have a basic understanding of not getting in the way of the rest of society. But the trained photographers are they're a different breed. They truly do not give a fuck. And they expect everybody to welcome them. It's actually really funny because they're on Twitter and stuff, and when people point out how much of a cancer they are to society, they'll reply with things like, you think that train photographers aren't serving something for society, but think about the next time in which you want to see a train out in its natural habitat, riding free. We are the ones who take that photo. And like everybody was like, what the fuck are you talking about? If I actually want to see a photo of a train, there's plenty of like official photos of train taken by like professional photographers. But I don't want to see any fucking photos of trains in the first place. What the fuck is wrong with you? So yeah, they're sort of living in their own fantasy world in which what they're doing has like some kind of supply and demand. That shit would not fly in Somalia. If anything, it might fly more because if it was Somalia, you could like get on the train tracks and nobody would think it's a big deal. But yeah, they'd probably get murdered by Somalian pirates, and that would be fine for everybody. They are giving each other handsies in a circle, sort of. But they also hate each other. That's an important thing to remember. They're also, like, fighting over the space and, like, yelling at each other. If you don't know Japanese, it's hard to understand how, the way in which they scream at each other, how abnormal it is. The only situation in which people are like, ah, when people yell like that in Japan is if they're like literal Yakuza trying to intimidate people to give them money. Except it's these pathetic little train artists who are doing it. So it looks like a whole massive joke. Of course, no one's scared of that shit. Kisama! Maybe I should play the Yakuza games now that I think about it. I haven't actually played any Yakuza games, and I have a bunch of them on my PlayStation Plus account. I think I have Yakuza 1 and Yakuza 7 from PS Plus already in my account, so I guess I could play that. They at least get money off of that? Do you mean taking photos of trains? Of course not. It's an autistic hobby. They waste millions of dollars on expensive photography equipment. They don't make any money. What do you think of From Software stealing your Dark Elf design for the Recluse? The Recluse is different from my Dark Elf design because, A, she's not an elf. B, nobody is actually going to play her because apparently spellcasting is shit in Night Rain. C, nobody's going to remember her because everybody seems to have gotten bored with the game and move on to Lies of P. D, her skin is way darker than Xana. Xana is like a much lighter tone of gray. Or perhaps chocolate, depending on how it will be colored. The whole point of Recluse is that, like, she's super, super giga dark. Right? Like sub-Saharan Africa dark. Yakuza has a cringe fan base, don't play it. Yakuza is kind of too Japanese for me. It has a lot of overlap with, like, Japanese dorama and stuff like that. I don't like Japanese, like, TV and, like, movie production, so... Recluse is one of those Nox people from the underground city. Recluse is going to have to worry about getting noxed up by me and my penis, if you know what I mean. The head of my dick is going to be noxing her on her womb. Can you go back to showing us your IRL softcore collection? I don't have an IRL softcore collection. Everything is on my my PC. What do you mean? Maybe I have some like bikini shit like that someplace, but I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Most of my non-hardcore stuff is just like the scenes before the hardcore starts. She is mine, you can have the femboy. Is the other female character... No, there's 3 female characters, but one of them isn't actually female. Is that correct? The one that is completely useless because From Software couldn't design the character hate management is the femboy. And then there's also Dex Girl and Sorcery Girl. Is that how it's going on? I like the Duchess because she's dressed like a man. I like women who are dressed like men. It's sexy. You literally showed us curvy JP Tomboy like 3 streams ago. Well, the problem is that my softcore reference collection is also mixed in with my hardcore reference collection, so I can't show it to you. Because, like, on one image, she might be wearing a bikini, but in the next image, there's going to be a lot of nipples showing, so... It exists for me to study the female body shape and stuff like that, so... I don't have, like, a safe for work version that I can browse through and show you stuff. In general, there's nothing on my PC that I can stream without getting banned, so the moment we start going through whatever files I have on this computer, Twitch will not be happy. It's just endless amount of porn. Any image that I haven't drawn myself, and a lot of images that I have also drawn myself, but yeah, any image that I haven't drawn myself is basically porn on this computer. I have some nice scenery, but that's about it. Remember how Twitch said nudity was fine if it was art? Yeah, I got banned, but for drawing the statue of David. The eternal fight of the internet is corporations that want to get rid of all sorts of sexuality from their platforms. And then everybody who wants to make everything into porn. It's the inherent tension between having to make money off ad revenue and corporations not wanting to have any kind of sexual content where they're showing ads. And then everybody else being like, whoa, sexo, whoa, lick, lick, lick. And that's what killed Tumblr, although I guess it's still alive to some degree. But that was basically the end of Tumblr, because they wanted to make some money off of their social network service at some point. You need to be an e-girl for it to count as art. Women really figured out the life hack in which they just claim that they're liberating their sexuality, and if you try and ban them for showing their nipples and vulva, it's just that's the patriarchy trying to clamp down and control women's bodies. Brilliant move by all the e-girl streamers out there. They're strong, independent women, and they don't have to apologize for showing off their asshole. Where did most Tumblr people migrate to anyways? Twitter, Pixiv? I mean, I obviously migrated to Twitter. There were no Japanese artists on Tumblr to begin with, so it was kind of irrelevant from that standpoint. Tumblr was a weird location. It had good artists. If they're good artists, then they can move to another location and still get the same traction, theoretically. It was a better format for displaying pictures than something like Twitter, that's for sure. It's literally a Tumblr clone, but for porn, usually BDSM. That actually sounds helpful. What is it? BDSM LR? What does the LR stand for? The Last Rebellion. Great Square Enix game. I actually need Shibari references pretty regularly, so... There's no way you can draw the Shibari rope setup without having a bunch of references, so... The Tumblr end? Oh, I guess you're right. That makes sense. It just seems weird because it comes at the end of the acronym. God, I wish I could play the saxophone. I don't regret not having sex, but I regret not having sex, you know. It would literally be better than having sex if I could just bring out my saxophone and play super soulful jazz at the local bar. Of course, if you can do that, you can probably have sex as well. I think they sort of go together in terms of they're kind of a package, you know. Can you draw Sex Maniac? Sorry, Hex Maniac. Let's see if I can draw her from memory. It's like this, right? And then she has hair, the hairband. This seems like the right kind of hair, right? Like this. And she's like this. What? Unya. Is this about right? It kind of sort of looks like the witch from Mercury Girl right now. But I think this is like 90% accurate. And after that, you get to the non-canonical proportions. And what? The Haunter. This seems about right. And then the body is like... That's a little too thin. The body is like this, right? If we're going by what the internet thinks of her. I have to make everything smaller or else there's not enough space. The boobs are a little too small in this drawing. The internet version of her would have bigger boobs, but you know, you get what I'm going for. And then the waist is sort of like this, right? This seems about accurate, I would say, in terms of proportions. Don't forget the gallons of milk. Yeah, let's make sure the nipples are prominently sticking out. And also, the shirt is becoming wet because she's lactating or something. Now let's compare this to the canon official artwork. Hex Maniac Pokemon. Strange. It's almost as if the official artwork doesn't have boobs the size of the rest of her body. It's almost like she's kind of flat. How did this become this stuff? I don't understand. American internet is pretty obscene when it comes to body modification. How far do I need to scroll before I hit porn? Safe search is not on, by the way. Oh, here's we're getting closer to the proportions that we're used to. Here, we're getting bigger and bigger. Wrong, her baggy clothes are hiding it. Her clothes aren't that baggy, guys. She doesn't have massive tits. Everything you believe in is a lie. Hex Maniac is easily one of the most Rule 34 trainers. I think if we're going by total number of doujins, it's probably number 1, Hilda. Number 2, what's her name? Rosaria. Number 3, Cynthia. Number 4, Hex Maniac. Probably, in terms of trainers. That's my guess. Rosa, yeah. I have this weird problem with Pokemon terminology in that I started playing in Japanese, so I can't remember the Pokemon names. And also I'm on the Japanese internet half of the time, so all the trainer names are different. Like Hilda is Toko and stuff like that. So if I want to have like Pokemon related discussions, I literally have to like remember twice as much terminology, which is of course difficult. Nemona's getting up there. Notable and famous Shota rapist Nemona. That one motherfucker that calls Krillin Kuridin. That's his name. It's fucking Kuridin. Isn't she the same age as the protag? Isn't she older? Isn't she like significantly taller than the protag at least? MC Kun is built for hag sex with Cynthia. He has no time for his rival Nemona. She's older by a year. No, senpai. Please. I thought we were just battle buddies. I'm not ready to take our relationship like that. No. Average Pokemon content. I will not play any modern Pokemon games, obviously. I can't believe people are okay with that level of quality. It's kind of bizarre when I see like a Scarlet Violet stream. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how much did you guys pay for this? Do you like Oneshota? I don't like Oneshota. I like evil old hags losing to the cock. Orc dick. Total Taimanin orc sex. That's the only thing I truly enjoy. Me and my fellow orcs. But BB, the Switch 2 paid updates let them run at higher FPS. Wait, is that a real thing? Is it like a paid update specifically for the Pokemon games on Switch 2? Yes. Hold on, let me check this out. Switch 2 Pokemon update. It says it's a free update. Even Nintendo surely is not that greedy. Bro, I'm checking out the IGN article on this, and they're showing this image as if the Switch 2 upgrade is making it fucking look good. This looks fucking awful. This looks so bad. I can't believe Pokemon fans actually look at this and are like, oh my god, it looks so much better. Like, look at the backgrounds and shit and the lighting. Oh my god, it's so awful. The IGN.com article says, the writer writes, to be completely honest, the performance of these games didn't prevent me from enjoying them the first time around. I still appreciated the new open world format, more fleshed out characters, and never before seen new Pokemon friends. Lag be damned. This is his job, guys. Imagine being a game journalist and you have to fucking glaze Pokemon Scarlet Violet for this insane Nintendo Switch 2 graphic upgrade. Oh man. Nothing like some Switch 2 graphics like this. Oh, look at the detail on the fucking grass. Holy shit. Look at this amazing background. The trees, they remind me of on my father's laptop, in his work laptop, I think back when I was probably in elementary school, so this might have been like 97 or something. There was a free-to-play golf game, and it had trees like this. Yeah, maybe the golf game looked a little better than this, but you know what I'm getting at. The East has fallen. Come on, guys, this is just fucking Game Freak. What's crazy for me is that Game Freak could have the most talented... Like, think how many kids my age grew up playing Pokemon. They could have the cream of the crop in terms of talented programmers and stuff who could make the games play, or at least run amazing and look amazing, right? That's not like a creative issue. That's something of just like programming knowledge and shit like that. I guess that's creative in a way, but you know what I mean. And yet... whatever internal culture they have going on at Game Freak, they still can't even like hire semi-competent programmers. It's fucking insane. And it's insane that people don't talk about it more, that it's literally the company with the most successful, most money-making IP on the fucking planet, and they can't even hire like basic level programming to ship out their game in a usable state. Game Freak just announced a good-looking game recently on Xbox. Maybe anybody who knows how to like use graphics and actually knows how to program is like shipped into a separate part of the company because they get in the way of whatever social dynamic they have going on where they produce really shitty Pokemon games. And then they were like, okay, let's make a different video game. I bet you they don't hire new people and more talented people because they want to keep the same small team because they earn more money per capital. I think they have like some weird, you know, club of original members and stuff, and they don't want to get pushed out. I just want to say that the primary goal of Game Freak is not to make the best product possible, at least at this point in time. Because if the main goal was to make the best product possible, there's no way you would get something like Scarlet Violet. It just wouldn't happen. Like, we've lost a lot of brain power in recent years, and a lot of skills are being lost and stuff, but it's not that bad. They run game IPs like the Mafia. I think it's in the same category as like Microsoft not having to make Microsoft Office or anything better, or Adobe and shit. Is once you already have your moneymaker and you know that people are going to be forced to buy it no matter how shitty the quality is, you no longer give a fuck about improving stuff. It's just like stagnation happens. Scarlet Violet is the end result of years and years and years of stagnation in which Nintendo fanboys would buy whatever piece of shit they would shit out. And then they eventually realized that they don't have to create quality products anymore. Say what you will about Sony and their fucking movie games. At least graphically they look decent. Like, there's some PS4 games that were made in like the latter half of the PS4 cycle where it's like just shocking how good it looks. Like Days Gone is one of them. Days Gone is like a 7 out of 10 zombie game. It's unremarkable in pretty much every aspect of it, but in terms of how it like runs and actually looks on the PS4 is like really shockingly, it looks great. Same thing for Last of Us games and stuff. They're some of the best looking games in terms of like, I don't know, programming prowess. Good night. Game Freak is an example that so long as it is sold by or under Nintendo, people buy even absolute horseshit. It's, you know, their comfy childhood. But I don't know, I can't translate my comfy childhood memories into modern Pokemon games considering they're not even 2D anymore. I was watching people play Mario Kart 8 and thinking that just the amount of art assets and, you know, the amount of stuff going by on the screen for Mario Kart 8 was pretty impressive. It certainly has a lot of details and, like, little things going on. Just the number of little mechanics you have that vary from stage to stage. Like, there is like, high Nintendo quality compared to, I don't know, any other kart racer and stuff like that, so... But I don't want to be slurping Nintendo's $80 dick. just because it's higher quality. It's not $80 better. I'm not gonna buy any game for $80. I'm sleepy. All Nintendo's fault for Return of the Tears of the Kingdom charging $70. Wait, who said $70 first? Wasn't it Sony? I can't remember who was the first people who were like, we can charge more and get away with it. Usually it's Microsoft is the one who tries to push the envelope of being greedier. But wasn't it Sony first? When a video game exceeds my $0 budget. If only there's a way to play video games without paying money for them. Alas, no such method exists. And even if that method exists, nobody in this chat would ever think of robbing Nintendo from their hard-earned cash, because that would be wrong. Nintendo Labo 2 for Switch 2. $150 of cardboard. Nintendo figured that before there was the Nintendo Labo, there was the Amiibos, remember? Nintendo figured out that even if video games were $60, if they became a toy company, they could charge way more. I remember when the Amiibo started coming out on 4chan of all places, I actually saw people defending it, being like, they're really well-made statues. It's 100% worth my money. I was like, holy shit. The Nintendo fanboy cope. Here's your little cheap fucking plastic figurine. I hope you're happy now. What if Nintendo Labo sold like a Mario themed cardboard dildo or something? Sounds like a bad idea. It seemed like a good idea for a second, but I'm pretty sure cardboard would be uncomfortable. I just got to thinking about that, considering like Hello Kitty has Hello Kitty dildos, you know. How much is the Hello Kitty dildo if I want one? Hello Kitty vibrator. I like this image right here. Thank you, Asian woman, for showing the correct way to use the Hello Kitty vibrator. It's a massage wand for your shoulder. Yes, this little thing definitely is gonna, you know, really do the job on your big fucking shoulder muscles. This shape is definitely not the correct size for a different part of this woman's body, that's for sure. It's a shaking mascot toy. I guess they don't have a dildo. Let me actually check. Yeah, they don't have a dildo. It's only a vibrator. Shame. There's a Hello Kitty butt plug, but I don't think this is an official product. On the other hand, the scary thing about Hello Kitty is that when you see a Hello Kitty butt plug, you kind of have to stop and wonder, wait, is this an official product or not? Because, you know, it's fucking Hello Kitty. Like, you can't say for sure that it's just, like, a fan-made object, right? You actually have to stop and question yourself. Would Sanrio sell official Hello Kitty butt plugs? Apparently the $10 tech demo for Switch 2 is absolutely awful too. I haven't touched Astrobot yet. I really should. I was asking chat what game I should play. It's Astrobot. I haven't touched the Astrobot tutorial, which apparently is one of the best games, even though it's a fucking tutorial. I just don't like cute shit, you know? I like grimdark adult games like Sekiro and Bloodborne because I'm a hardcore gamer, but I should probably check out some Astrobot, the one that you get with the PS5. I also don't like platforming in general. I don't like jumping on platforms. It doesn't provide me with any kind of dopamine release. I like shooting things and watching heads explode. So if Astrobot was like insanely violent, I would have played it already. I've been playing Bolt Gun. The Doom-like, Warhammer-themed Doom-like bolt gun. This was another PS Plus monthly game. It's pretty good, honestly. If you want to play a Doom game that isn't actually Doom. I like how they have a single button to Space Marine. It's like press triangle to Space Marine, and then your Space Marine will say something like kill all heretics or some shit like that. How about the Metro games? I started playing, I think, multiple Metro games. Yeah, I've started multiple Metro games, and I have lost interest in both of them. I haven't touched the third one. I've touched the first one and the second one, and in both, I was just like, it didn't click with me. I think the gunplay isn't exactly what I want. The gunplay feels like a little bit off. I'm not sure why. I like more 40k universe games. I want a 40k dating sim. When I see something that's like grimdark universe, then I want the lighthearted parody of it. So I want a dating sim in which I can date a sister of battle, a dark elder, an elder woman, a Tau woman, and so on. Commissar woman. Gender swapped version of Space Marine women. The Emperor female version. Sister of Battle sounds like a potential crushed pelvis. It's a lighthearted parody game, so even if your pelvis gets crushed, you can fix your pelvis. Remember how Pal World said that they were going to make a dating sim game for Pal World characters. And everyone was like, haha, that's a funny April Fool's joke, except it wasn't. What's going on with that? That's coming along, right? Have they shown any trailers? Pal World dating sim. For all the furries out there. Cute. Not gonna lie, it's actually fucking cute. Cute, shy boy. Sexo. Actual sexo. What? A human in my Pokemon dating game? No. It cannot be. Ugly bastard. Nice. Don't get me wrong. She's all tsundere. The good thing about Pocket Pair is that they actually like produce the things that we've thought about. Like, what if you could shoot things in a Pokemon game or ride your Pokemon and shit? For some reason, it takes years and years and years for Game Freak to do that. I'm not sure why. Date everything new and Honey Pop. There's an official Dead by Daylight dating sim called Hooked on You. Nice. Well, considering their audience is like, what, 90% women who want to get raped by serial killers or some shit like that, then it seems pretty appropriate. I've been told that the fan base of Dead by Daylight is extremely horrifying and cringe, so... The other 10% is people wanting to fuck the Huntress. Is there only one female character? One fuckable female character? Because if there was more, I would, you know, be more interested, perhaps. Time after time. Alright guys, I'm about to fall asleep, so I'm gonna end the stream here. See you around, guys. I'm about to pass out. Good night. I will continue grinding and believe in my potential as a human being. See you around. The weird ass lady with the drones. They should put Sadako in Dead by Daylight. Everyone knows that Sadako and Hashaku-sama are sex. 9.5 foot tall Hashaku-sama. Ooh. Good night.